Okay, are we ready?
Follow the threads. Sorry.
Apparently not.
Let me get through the intro before you start cackling. Hi, guys. Welcome to Threads Podcast, Life Unfiltered. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are up in the north for our second annual podcast extravaganza with our wives. I said it, our wives. Yes. So thank you very much for joining us. We have a bunch of content to get to, not like last time. We're like, okay, we're done. So, hi, ladies.
Hello. Hi. Hey.
Hi, Ben.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? We're excited to be here for this round 2 of Our Wives joining us. And as Jason said, last year we did this and we showed up with, about a
loosey-goosey.
It was more than loosey-goosey. It was like almost nothing on our rundown.
It was
of
like
things
5 minutes. And we were like, what? No, this isn't going to work.
Yeah. Like we did some sort of a game, a telegram game.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of a flop.
Yeah. And
that
then
whole episode was a flop.
The whole episode started out as a flop, but it turned around.
Yeah, I think it rallied at the end.
Sure did. Once our wives were like, no, we're going to talk about stuff. That's what you do on Threads Podcast.
Life Unfiltered.
Yes. So we've been hanging out with our families the last day or two and just having a good time. And it's really cool to see our kids bond and form relationships. And so Threads is a podcast all about life. And we've been sharing life together the last couple of days. So tonight we're just going to continue with that thread.
Oh, man.
And record it and put it up as our next episode of Threads. So tonight we've got some listener comments that we're all going to chime in on. We've got questions from listeners, some feedback, a poll about therapist versus counselor. I lost that one. And I lost it pretty bad. So I just totally lost my train of thought. That never happens.
Oh, that's up north brain.
Must be. I have been lounging almost all day. The most active thing I did today
was poop.
Well, that and take my dog for a walk.
Oh, you did?
I mean, you were sleeping, so.
Oh, yeah, I took a little nappy poo.
Well, and you walked around Family Fair with those girls.
Yes. That was a lot of fun.
So before we get into content real quick, just want you guys to please rate, review, and subscribe. I forgot to tell Ben we did fall out of the chart. So I know I talked about it last time. We were flirting around 100, like 100 in the top relationships. I'm like, this can't be right because it's going to be.
But then we went back in and then we fell back out.
Yeah, back in and out. Hang on one second. Yeah, so we were in the top 100 and like 104, 105, and I thought, well, it had been like that for like a couple of weeks. I thought, this is the real deal, and then I went in there the other day and we weren't charting anymore out of like 500.
Does it give you, out of 500? Oh,
yeah. So Apple changed their genres a little bit, so it did say right on the top, this might not be the true number, but it kind of gives you a little excited.
I know.
I was so excited.
I told you not to announce it.
I know, I should have, but I should have not, but I did. So let's just talk about our crazy weeks. The second week of school for our kids, Meaghan and I, and then first week for Andy and Ben. Yes. You guys want to break down how your week was?
Exhausting.
I feel like, seriously, Thursday I got home. Actually, I worked from home in the afternoon, and I didn't get as much done as I wanted to. Sorry, Bethany. But
she doesn't listen anyways.
Yeah, or my employer. So I sent Ben a picture at like 5 of myself laying on the couch, and I was like, I feel like I just got hit by a bus. Like, it just was exhausting. I don't know.
Was it Thursday morning where I slept in?
Yes. So on Thursday, the last day of school, there was a mosquito. Sorry, I had to grab it, and it was going to eat my face off. Thursday morning, Miracle had a therapy appointment. Back up to the whole week. Like, that kid, she did so good. Yeah. Like, I'm so incredibly proud of her.
7.
Yeah, she doesn't have to be to school until like 8 something, and she was getting herself up at like 6:10 and showering in the morning. Well, the first day, but then just up and like they made waffles. The first Monday, I woke up, I'm like, do I smell Pop-Tarts? Like, what's going on?
Wait, you guys are eating waffles and Pop-Tarts too?
No.
Oh, because that's what we eat in our house for breakfast.
Oh,
We
well,
do waffles
yeah,
for
I guess
breakfast.
it's waffles, but Miracle does Pop-Tarts sometimes. But I woke up and I was like, do I smell Pop-Tarts?
That's what I'm saying.
But no, Ben and Miracle are out there making waffles, and it's like 6:15 in the morning, and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So she did amazing, but then Thursday she had a therapy appointment at 9, so I was like, you can sleep until 7:30, you don't have to get up, and so she didn't, and we all fell apart.
Yeah. So Miracle is the one who gets us up in the morning, and my phone alarm was set.
Well, your phone sucks.
Well, I know, but I was going to say it a little bit nicer than that. Jeez.
Well,
Yeah,
it
that's
just
the
says-
theme of the weekend is Ben's phone needs an upgrade.
It does. I need to talk to my employer about that. But yes, I had plugged it into the charger the night before. I woke up and my phone was completely dead and the alarm didn't go off. So I woke up when Andy's alarm went off at 7:15. I had to be to work at 8 and Stefan had to be at school at 7:30.
Yep.
Somehow we both managed to get there on time. So that's good.
Yeah, and Stefan didn't get up either because apparently his alarm also didn't go off. He was like, oh, I realized why my alarm didn't go off. I didn't plug it in. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's some critical function on an alarm clock. Like
Yes.
there's a couple of real functions you have to do.
AM versus PM.
Yep.
Being plugged in.
Being plugged in.
And turned on. The alarm turned on.
Yeah.
So there's
So,
3 steps.
Yes.
So all of that to say, I think it's been a pretty good week, but it was exhausting. I was so tired. And I think maybe that's why we're so tired today
Yeah.
even, because it just was such a long week.
But it was
So-
only 4 days, but it felt like an
Slackers.
eternity. So, no, I was like exhausted by 9 o'clock. I went to bed around 10 each night, which is not normal for me. So, yeah, it was a pretty tiring week.
But a good week, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, it was okay for us. It was draining. We were exhausted too. I just think getting back into the swing of things. Avery on Monday, Wednesday gets up at 6 a.m. now because they have music before school.
Oh,
They don't have it like when I went to band. It was like a class.
Yeah.
But no, they have it from like 7:15 to 8 or
wow.
something, or I don't know, an hour before school. So that was okay. She did really well getting up. First time setting an alarm. We had alarm issues too. She one morning. I mean, I'm always there, but I'm like, all right, honey, if you're going to get up at 6, come this winter, I'm not going to be up at 6. I'm going to be sleeping in. Well, sleeping in. I say that, but I'll probably still get up at 5:30. But yeah, no, she set it for PM. So we were eating dinner. I hear. I was like, oh, that's what happened this morning. So. But other than that, I thought it was pretty. Ours have been back at it for 2 weeks, and I think it's gone pretty smooth.
Yep.
Yeah.
First week, we didn't send Sully to therapy. We didn't do any of that just because it was going to be such a busy first week. And so this last week was the first week with her going to band early, so him having to ride the bus by himself.
oh yeah.
on
yeah.
Mondays and Wednesdays.
How'd he
which-
do?
Fine.
Awesome.
He was fine. And then he went back to therapy, and his therapist on Thursday was like, I don't even know why they let me take care of kids. Because everybody was just a disaster in the whole center.
Oh
Just
man.
tough. Getting back to, ooh,
Yeah, you're real. Sorry, I'm just making adjustments.
it's all
so
good.
Just pretend like you don't even know what's going on.
10 foot. And go back to baseline. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Typically don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you were like at a flat line. I don't know what's happening. We tested these all, and then all of a sudden they're just like burp, burp, burp. I know we're talking about technical stuff.
I know,
on
it's
this
my
podcast. That's your favorite thing.
It's my favorite segment of Threads.
So yeah, all in all, it was a
Tech
pretty. We should make that in a segment. Tech update. We're on this little tiny table up in the great northern Michigan. Last time we recorded, remember, it was pouring
Torrential
rain.
downpour.
And you could hear it even after all the normalization when we uploaded it. You could still hear the rain in the back, which was kind of
And
cool.
it was humid AF.
Oh, it was humid.
AF.
Yeah,
Yes.
now we're getting some mothadas with the light on.
And mosquitoes.
Well, we can turn the lights off. We just can't see each
Yeah,
other.
it's either
then.
do this in pitch black or skeeters.
Skeeters. So, Ben, thank you for doing the format. I appreciate it. One of the things he brought up is, like, what are we looking forward towards fall? I'm not ready for fall. I'm ready to this nice weather. Like, today was perfect. 70 degrees.
Yeah, it was
partly
good.
cloudy. You could lay out on the deck and just take a nap and not get burned or get cold. But I'm not ready for fall, so I'm not looking forward to fall yet.
Oh, I love fall.
I know what you're looking forward to about fall. You've already had it.
Pumpkin
PSLs.
spice.
Yes.
Well, okay. I have not had a PSL.
Oh, well,
I
you've
have
had
had
pumpkin
a
spice.
cold brew with pumpkin cream, and
So it's like the summer and autumn mixed together.
it's amazing. It's really good. Megan, you must.
I know. I got to get over there.
The cold brew with the cream, is it pretty good?
Yes, it's amazing. Sorry.
Is that the stuff that you were talking about that has the special thing? Yeah.
Yes. And they give you the special sippy cup so you can just sip it and it dribbles down into the.
Wait. It gives a sippy cup?
Yeah, Starbucks. It's a new thing.
It's
Is
like
it a
little
disposable?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be biodegradable.
Yeah,
No,
right.
it's to save the turtles and
Oh.
not give you straws.
Okay.
Bigby's doing that now too.
Yeah,
giving
Bigby
like
has it,
sippy
too.
cups, and I'm like, can I have a straw? They'll
It's-
give you one if you ask,
Yes.
but standard practice now is the.
if it's a cold drink, instead of giving you just the normal top with the straw on it, it's a top, but it has an open so you can just sip it.
Oh. Do you know that turtle thing was a complete scam?
Yeah, I'm sure.
That there was a kid that did a book report on it, and that's how the story got lifted, and that's why it started the turtle thing. He made up all his numbers. It was complete bullshit.
Sounds awesome.
Awesome. Well, and then you go to those hipster cafes that give you friggin' paper straws.
They don't
Oh, they're the
work.
worst.
Oh, that's so nasty.
I think the straws are recyclable, like the plastic straws. I just think people throw them away. I think they actually are recyclable. I don't know.
I don't know.
I am a pretty good recyclable, but I don't know if recyclable.
Recycler.
Recycler. Thank you. I don't know if they are. That's what I heard. So I know it's tough to. This is a new environment. We're all clinking in the chairs, and it's just like whatever. So
I am looking forward
Yeah.
to kayaking. Like,
are you? Because you've been
Of
up in the
course.
Great Northern with a beautiful pond, and you've yet to set your butt in a kayak.
Yeah.
well, it's just a pond. It's not a river.
We have eagles, a beaver
How
dam,
dare you?
striped
For
bass.
shame.
Well,
Where else do you get to kayak on a placid, glass-like lake with
Placid.
eagles flying over your head? Because Jason and I went out today, saw the eagle, and loons floating around. Nowhere.
Here's my take on it. I think he's just a kayak snob.
Oh yeah.
maybe. Well, see, I'm a bigger guy, and I need a kayak that's rated for my weight, and I just don't want to sink the kayak.
I don't think you're gonna sing.
I don't think you are.
I don't think so.
I think
either.
Ben thinks our lake is like the Bush Light of beers, and he's a
Oh
he's like
my
a
gosh.
Founders.
No, I don't
Not
think.
Founders.
I don't think it's the lake. I think it's the kayaks.
Yeah, that's what I said. I
Knock
think
it
he's
till you try it, Crocker.
I think he's a kayak snob.
We can go kayaking tomorrow.
Sure.
I'll go with you. Maybe I'll try the paddleboard.
Ooh.
Paddleboard's
Well,
fun.
I'm looking forward to kayaking with the leaves changing color.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool down the river. I'm not gonna lie, that would be pretty cool. Anyone else want to chime in? Well, you want the pumpkin spice.
Well,
What about
no,
you?
that wasn't even
Nope.
my thing, though. He tried to throw me under the bus to make me a basic white bitch Karen.
Ooh.
No, I'm looking
just
forward
went
to
there.
the crock pot and homemade bread.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, it is good crock pot weather.
Mm-hmm.
Megan, anything or can we move on?
Oh, I just like the cooler weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, sun has not been my friend this summer.
Well, I know it's
a
trouble,
bummer.
but snow's coming and I don't want the snow.
I don't want to eat.
Yeah, you want to move south when we retire. How is that going to work with your
I need a parasol.
well, we'll buy it on the Amazon. There you go.
Nice.
What are you looking forward to, Jason, about fall?
I already said I wasn't looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I started it.
He's just being
Oh.
a rebel and won't answer the
It's
question.
not a rebel. It's just I don't want it to be fall. That winter was really
Well, football.
But it's going to be, so
don't
you're
watch
going to have
football.
to accept it.
I'm gonna be me.
What?
No, I just
No.
I had a really rough winter.
You're wrong.
And I'm speaking.
Sorry, I was correcting my husband
Yeah, but-
because he was incorrect. Sorry. Please-
But see, that's the thing. You just move on from that stuff unless it's really funny.
it was ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jason. You had a rough winter.
Anyways,
go on.
I will stop this thing right now and
Oh,
turn it
pull the
around.
car
Kick
over.
your ass.
No, I just had a really rough winter mentally. It was tough. I stayed home with the kids that entire week, and I'm just not ready to be stuck
Yeah.
in the house again. I like being outside. I like working outside. I like just being in the elements, but not cold elements. So, but yeah, so that I am not ready for fall. So I'm not being a rebel, Ben.
Okay. I'll let you go.
So I forgot to look up. It says reminisce about our episodes from last year. I mean, there were so many good ones, right? I mean, we had Gabe on. We had Sam.
No. You didn't read.
Uh-oh.
I'm just talking. We already did this. I was just thinking last year's Labor Day episode.
Oh, my bad.
We already did that, so.
We did it off the air, though.
But you guys did have a lot of good episodes over the last year.
Yeah, I think
We'll just change the question.
I think yeah. Sorry.
Although we should revisit the last time we did this because it was just
Sorry, I did not read very well. No, I think this last year has been fun. It was our first year. June was our first episode of 2018, and yeah, we've definitely had some growing pains, and we've had some good stuff, and we've kind of done a lot of interviews, and I think Ben kind of hated that a little bit.
I didn't necessarily hate it. I would just prefer our normal format.
I think what happened is we didn't schedule them properly, and we went like 2 months without actually sitting down next to each other, and that's how kind of Threads is the bread and butter and how we started out. So, but no, I think Gabe was a really good episode, and I think I really enjoyed the Todd Chance one, and I may be having another title in my producer of the Dad Up podcast. So I think that is actually happening. So
it's good to know.
How does Meaghan feel about that?
Meaghan wasn't asked.
Yes, she was actually. You were asked. I talked about it.
Talking about it and
Committing
are different.
Well, I mean, I said all I am is doing as a producer. I just sit down there, and then when he's done, I give him the file, and it's all good. What is that crackling?
I hear it too.
Gee, it, Ben. Excuse my mouth. I thought it was the fire. Did you see me turn around? I wonder if the fire was taken on.
Wait,
He's
do
got
you
a
have a
wrapper.
wrapper in
Get
your
your
pocket?
hand out of your pocket.
What are you
Did you
doing
guys
in
hear
there?
that too?
Yes.
Yes.
Ugh.
What are you doing in there?
Being a smarty.
Okay. So, sorry. Wives share highlights feedback from previous episodes. So, apparently I wasn't allowed to. Ladies, take it away. What was your favorite episode?
Oh gosh, my one favorite episode.
I mean, one that stuck out that was,
There were a lot of highlights. I actually kind of like the interview episodes better.
Do you? That's
I do.
okay. Say what you want to say. That's
I do.
okay. Well, you're learning something about somebody else. You know everything about us. I mean, for the most part. At least you know most about me, I hope. But I do like the interviews, too. I like learning about other people and their stories.
Mm-hmm. I will say, Andy and I talk about how many new things we learn about you guys on the podcast. Though.
Okay, maybe
mostly involved around like things you plan on doing with the money we make.
You mean like being a producer for a podcast?
Like that one. Oh, it's going to happen.
Or, Ben starting another podcast.
Oh, yeah. That was I think we haven't talked about that since that reveal. Is that still on the table?
I mean, if you ask my wife, I don't
right
have
there.
time for it.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't think you do right now.
Well, here's the thing. What is your goal? Just to get some stuff off your chest, or?
I mean, my main goal is to use what I went to school for and have a platform for it.
Right, and it's not like you're looking to become the next Dr. Ruth or something like that. You just want kind of an outlet to talk about those kind of things.
What?
Isn't Dr. Ruth the sex therapist?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she's
Well,
like
Ben is
isn't
pretty
she
sexy.
the Jewish?
Well,
she's like the
she's
Jewish
dead now, but-
sex therapist.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Did I say Dr. Ruth?
You
Yes,
sure
you
did.
did.
Maybe I was thinking of Ann Landers.
Two very different people.
Yes. Ruth's
No.
dead.
It's
I think
Sex
it would-
Talk with Ben Crocker.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
Can I pick
Let's
the
talk
music?
about you and me.
Can I pick the music for that segment?
I think Andy just did.
Let's
I
talk
don't
about
know.
all the good things and the bad things
They played that at my junior high
that
dance.
may be.
Wow.
Let's
They
talk
did?
about
I
sex.
remember it, yeah.
That's crazy that got through.
It was so bad.
So
Well, Annie didn't get a chance to speak about the interview.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I like it both. I like both ways. I mean, I think I like the unfiltered finale, or like when you guys used to talk about how you blew it, like that whole
yeah.
thing. Like I kind of miss that.
Well, we really haven't. I mean, the last episode was the
You
loosey
haven't
goosey.
blown it.
no, actually, I haven't.
They've been just solid. Solid.
It's been solid. No, but
You're the only one that didn't catch on. Like, I was getting the joke. I was waiting for her to see what she was going to do. Innuendos are fun.
It has been a while. Just saying. Yeah, so...
Next time on Sexy Talk with Ben.
See, it all leads back to Ben's new podcast.
Yep.
Sex Talk with Ben.
Sex Talk with Ben.
The most awkward interview
I'm going to
ever.
come up with the name by the time we're done with this podcast. I've been throwing it around.
I know. What kinds of questions are people going to ask him on this podcast, do you think?
All sorts.
I don't wanna
Filthy
know.
ones.
How do you keep it? Never mind.
going?
That's not what I was going to say.
Rabbit hole.
All
circle
right,
back.
let's-
Circle
let's-
back.
Ooh.
I think Ben was going to say is talking about our highs and lows of the summers. Okay, I guess not awkward.
I was going to say more about my idea, but
Oh
I think
yeah,
we
let's.
just kinda
Yeah, no,
covered it.
no. We were just joking. Don't get sensitive.
I'm always sensitive.
I know. Look at he's.
I
Honey,
always
don't-
have a tear
honey,
running down my eye.
Don't be fussy. It's okay.
Am I ever fussy?
Mhm.
Okay. No, the podcast would only be like 5 to 10 minute episodes, bite size.
But 5 to 10 minutes. How can you portray the things that you want to portray in 5 to 10 minutes?
Exactly. I don't think it's
I
going to be
mean,
5 or
but
10
I mean,
minutes.
what is it, like? Give me what you would say. First episode, go. Like, I mean, don't do 5 or 10 minutes, but
Taking a theological or Bible or general life concept and breaking it down through stories,
okay. So just take.
verses in 5 minutes.
Okay, so taking an idea and kind of just breaking it down, or
Unpacking it in a quick but thorough way.
via religion, or
Potentially.
okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's what you studied, right?
exactly.
Okay, so I assume it has a religion base.
There would be.
Okay, I think it's good if it's 5 or 10 minutes, and I feel like you wouldn't even have to prep for it. You'd just have an idea, and you'd be like, bleh,
Just
10
talk
minutes.
it out.
Yeah, I don't think it's that much of a commitment.
We'll see. Are you spying on the children?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was waiting for some feedback from Andy.
I'm just watching the amount of junk they're putting into their bodies.
You know what?
gonna
Miracle just pulled out the French onion dip. So
I'm
Oh,
telling you,
really?
I
Shove
told
out
them
more.
you.
She eating it with a spoon.
No, she's got the chips. Sorry, Jason told them they could do whatever they wanted.
I did, so
So
we
it's
just,
your fault.
We just have to let them go, and if they throw up, then we'll let Ben deal with it.
They won't throw up.
No,
I mean, I think it's a good idea, but you yourself the other day expressed to me that you have a lot going on, so I'm just not sure where you're going to fit that in with
Probably
everything
not
else.
until soccer's done.
Okay.
or yeah, whatever. Either way, I encourage you to do it. I think it would be a good outlet for you if you're craving that kind of whatever that is. Then
Material.
I think, and hey, that's what's great. You know, we have the internet, so we can do that kind of stuff. Whether it does anything or not, I don't think that's his goal. So, I guess my thought was if that was your goal, that might be a little too much to make it big.
Yeah, I don't need to make it big.
Because we're I just think that would be too much.
It would be.
You want to?
To market it and to do everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, the next segment, I just thought it would be cool to talk about the highs and lows of our summer. We talked about peaks and valleys quite a bit on our episodes, and when we interview guests, it's something that we focus on. So I thought it'd be cool to just break down the summer. What was something that was really good about summer, and what was something that maybe wasn't so good about your summer? Who wants to go first?
We can go first. We talked about this a little bit. I think the highlights of our summer, we did some cool stuff as a family. Went to Michigan Adventure, the kids and I. Also spend a week here without Jason. And so we came up and did that. We went to Mackinac Island, which I swear I've never been to. My mom says I've been there.
Without
but
me too. Woo woo.
Yeah, also without Jason.
Crowds.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't have an issue with crowds if it's just Megan and I, but if I have the kids with me, it bothers me. So, yeah. Although Michigan's Adventure
That's
wasn't
stressful.
too bad, but Megan was there.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, some MIL issues too, so, I mean, it's okay. It's all good.
The more people you add to your group outing, the more difficult it becomes to. It's just there's just a lot of moving pieces and parts,
Yes.
and especially for us, if it's family based, or we're trying to do family outings with beyond our little nuclear family, it's just not as smooth as we would
No.
prefer
That's
it to be.
Extra parenting and
Yes.
Yeah.
Or just hairy cariness. But yeah, no, those were good. Those were good highlights of just.
at least I was part of one of them.
You've been up here a few times.
No, I know. I came up. You guys were up for a week, and then I came up that weekend.
Yes.
So, no, it was a great. I think it was a great summer. You know, it's so much different with working parents. I mean, you guys experienced the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, you want to see all these moms out with their kids and spending this amazing summer together, and I get jealous. I really do. I mean, not that I want to spend the entire summer with my kids, but it would be. I don't know. It'd be kind of nice to do that. I don't know what you guys think.
No, I agree. I mean, I wish I could just sit poolside with the kids all summer and let them swim. And
I feel like a teacher. I mean, I know they need to get paid more, but I mean, what a sweet gig. You can spend the summer with your kids, and then it's like perfect. You don't really need daycare.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
Maybe I'll become a teacher.
There you go.
What would you teach?
Sex.
Oh, you get fired and go to jail.
Like
real
how to have
fast.
sex?
Oh man, that was so amazing.
Yeah.
I need to tell that story real quick. So, this is going back to my youth pastor days in Oregon.
So horrified right now.
Well, I didn't know where it was
The
going.
weird setup that just happened.
I know.
Just hold
right?
on. Hold on. It's worth it.
Okay. Go.
What are you doing? Shh.
Sorry.
Just adjusting. Just think of it like a balls. Sometimes you got to adjust them.
Oh my gosh, this podcast is going downhill quickly.
Hey, somebody else.
Rating.
You started out with him being the sex expert, or maybe you did. I don't know.
Anyway,
You did.
I
you
did?
called him
Okay.
Dr. Ruth.
the sex expert would like to speak.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Megan cringed.
So, I was teaching a youth group lesson. No, it was a game. We were doing a game, and I was introducing it.
Jesus.
My gosh.
Sorry, me and Megan get a little loose.
So I'm trying to introduce this game just like I'm trying to introduce this story, and there's this middle school boy who's just squirrely as all get out. And I was introducing the game as so the game involved a balloon and shaving cream, and you had to like
Stop it.
I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
I feel like I'm really, really loud.
Well, you adjusted your mic closer to you. When
No more
you
tech talk. Tell your
No,
story.
but I mean, he brought it up. He brought his mic closer
Okay,
to his
go.
mouth.
Talk.
Ooh.
Now. Go. Finish. A balloon and
Shaving cream, one long balloon, two small balloons. Go.
So the game was to put shaving cream on a balloon and take a razor and try to shave
Oh,
it
yeah,
off.
yeah. I've
without
never done that,
popping
but
the balloon.
I've heard of it.
So I introduced that game. It's a very innocent game. Thank you very much. I introduced it as this is something that dads teach their sons, like shaving, like how to shave.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this little squirrely kid just all of a sudden blurts out, "How to have sex?" And I'm like,
yeah.
"Wait, huh? Your dad teaches you how? That's weird." And I just tried really hard to not laugh or respond. But everybody else in the room was responding by cracking up, and I'm not sure if he was serious or what.
Like how to have sex?
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. You're not sure if he was serious. Did you pull him aside?
No.
Okay, so that
Meanwhile,
kid was
that's kid
probably
had
abused.
15 more years of sexual abuse.
Oh. I don't think so.
No.
No.
No, but
not
I mean,
based on
that-
this kid and his family. I mean,
that would probably
you
be
never know, but
Probably be a good opportunity to pull him aside and say, "Are you serious about
Or
that?"
pull him aside and go, nah.
Yeah.
Don't say weird stuff.
No,
it.
I think Oscar, who was our resident he was an elder in the church. That's what I meant by elderly.
yeah.
He was also a youth leader, so I think he pulled this young man aside to check in at some point.
Hopefully.
But I did not because I was running everything else. So
Poor Ben's got this whole game lined up, and you're like, oh, might as well just not even play.
Right. The kids are probably just, everyone else
Did
is
you just
dying laughing.
Throw the stuff on the air. It's ruined.
Yep.
It's done. We're
That's
done.
it.
It's over.
Time to pray.
Go home.
Yep. You need Jesus.
Y'all need Jesus.
Y'all need Jesus real bad.
So we actually did play the game, and it was a ton of fun once we got through that little.
You know, I've heard that game a million times. I've never had the opportunity to do it. Is it hard? Without
can be.
popping it? Yeah. I mean, if you put too much pressure on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Andy, I was actually being serious.
Lordy.
how we even get on these?
I don't. I blame
You
Andy and
said-
Meaghan.
You said somebody said about having sex, and so I just.
Oh, because Jason was going to teach how to have
Oh
sex.
yeah, Jason's gonna be the sex teacher.
Anyways, back
that's
to low
Back to
and
lows
high
and highs.
summer.
Okay.
Summer.
So those were, I think we can go as a team if you guys are cool with that. 'cause
Yeah.
We
That's
kind
cool.
of, unless
Well,
you
we
have
are a
another.
team. No, I don't have anything particular.
And then we talked about the lows of summer. We really didn't have anything that was disastrous. We didn't have anything.
Well, I think a lot of it is the low is what I talked about is not having the opportunity to
Yeah, that's what I
have
was
three
gonna say.
3 days in the summer to go to the pool or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, but I understand it's okay. I don't think I'm going to look back and say my kids had a terrible childhood by any means, but there are times where I drive around doing lawns and I'm just like, yeah, I'd just really like to be out there at the pool with all of them. You know what I mean? With my kids and stuff like that. So how about you guys? Lows, highs?
We didn't really talk about this at all. But I don't know. I would say we had a really rough summer with Miracle. Just
Yep.
I feel like maybe we're on the upswing now a little bit, but
Well, because school started. She loves school.
and yeah, I think just getting her figured out, like I don't know. It just it's just been a lot of figuring. So it's been hard. Really, really hard.
Yeah, but I think even in the hard of it, there was wow.
So
I'm sorry.
you guys doing lows first and then doing the high?
Apparently,
Okay.
so even in the midst of the difficult parts of summer with Miracle, there were some highlights. Like one thing that we started doing recently, just her and I, we go grocery shopping, and that's actually been a lot of fun. She loves to take out her phone and use it as a calculator. Now, mind you, I have to also keep track because she
Throwing
will-
junk food in?
Well, no,
Oh.
she'll clear out. She'll accidentally press the clear button as she's adding, and then she's like, "Oh, I lost track." I'm like, okay, I got it. Here you go. So,
A little
but
bit of drama.
it's like a scavenger hunt, and we kind of respect each other's space. And you know, sometimes I lead the way, and sometimes she's like, "We need to go to this aisle for that," and we just kind of work it out.
She's a good
That's
shopper.
cool.
Yeah, but there and with all of that with her though, there has been some really good things. Like Ben was talking about our church on the last episode and how we did the big serve, and our family helped with that food pantry. And part of it was going like we had to go to the grocery store, like some of us did, and so Miracle had an envelope with a list with $200 worth of Aldi cards, like to spend on stuff. And she was like, okay, we need this and this and this. And she was amazing. So that was really cool.
It's like a
just to
life
see-
skill.
Yeah.
Especially shopping on a budget.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you have to make this $200
Yep.
last.
Yep. So there's been some really good things with that. And I think, it's been hard, but it's been good. I think, I'll say that I think Ben is really trying to step it up with Miracle, and a lot of times I get to be the one that's the safe person because she's a girl, so there's a lot of things that he can't do for her, but I feel like he's really stepping it up with her and trying to figure out how to kind of help and take some of that off of me, because it's exhausting to be the only one that can
Yes.
do the dealing.
Well, he's definitely stepped up because they sunk a kayak together.
Yeah.
So,
Sure did.
I mean, that's love. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that brings up a really good point. Her and I had some great times this summer kayaking.
Yeah.
And like she would sit right up against me in my kayak and just snuggle right in. She even fell asleep a couple times. Like we really did have a good bonding summer. So that's definitely a highlight. I don't feel like we did a ton that was exciting all as a family. I feel like we
Yeah.
kind of had to divide and conquer this summer just to make it through because of Miracle and just her stuff.
Well, it's just tough. I mean, when both parents work full time, when do you take your vacations? You know what I mean? Some
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
take them in the summer. Some people take them in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys really didn't do anything vacation-y much this
Not
summer.
really.
Not
Ben
that-
and Stefan went away.
Yeah,
and
yeah, I remember that.
Miracle and I kind of had a girls' weekend, so that was pretty fun. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it was an okay summer. I was trying to figure out what to do, with my job and stuff like that. So that's been kind of a weird, I don't know. I'm in a good spot with it now, I think, but I don't know. There's been, I applied for a lot of different things and
just dealing with the ups and downs of, I had an interview, but I didn't hear anything back, or I submitted my resume and they never reached out to me.
Yeah, or I had an interview and this guy douchily said to me, well, the competition's really tight and this is a place I did my internship at, and I don't know, it's good. I did get an offer and I'm really excited about what's next. Hopefully beginning of October, we'll see. But yeah, so I think we're just kind of in this transition season and we're in flux and
Yep. But I think we've been talking about going somewhere warm over
spring break.
So we're looking forward to that.
Well, you guys are good parents. We just pull our kids out of school. We go when we want to go. We typically go in February.
Maybe
Spring break is
we'll do
the
that.
worst time to go.
Maybe
It's the
we
worst
can do
time
that.
because there's so many people. I can't handle that.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. But
I mean,
we'll see how they're doing in school.
Yeah, as they get older, it gets tougher and tougher. But if they're rock stars in school, then it's like whatever.
Stefan is in some hard classes. That kid too. I think another high. I think he's really just kind of come into his own a little bit this summer.
Yes,
Like I can see him. So it was really interesting. In the first week of summer, first couple weeks, he went to a camp with our church, and a couple of the boys that were on the trip got sent home for smoking pot and and vaping
At church camp
on a Christian campus. And he told me, he's like, I could have joined with them if I wanted to, but I didn't. Like, and so I guess for, he has had some struggles and has not always made the best choices with friends. So just to see him not only like choose not to do it, but actually see that there are pretty serious consequences for your actions. I feel like that kind of changed a lot in for him. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you agree with that.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's still a punk.
I mean, he's a teenage boy.
I don't know. You guys haven't been up here too terribly long, but I think he's acted great.
Yeah.
I don't
he's
see
pretty great.
any issues. We
No.
had a good conversation when he rode home with us, talking about music, and I mean, yeah, I think he's awesome.
He's a good kid. He really is.
Yeah,
He's
he
just
is.
just a punk.
And I do see I'm seeing him in a different light. I understand that. So I'm not saying he's not a jerk at home sometimes, but but at least this weekend I've enjoyed his company. So
Yeah. Well, I'm really surprised. I mean, he's never sat with, I don't remember the last time he sat on the couch with his mom for an hour like that and laid, and I was like, what is going on? And then I had to hit him after I fell asleep and he tried to shove a gummy bear in my mouth.
that's hilarious.
But I mean, that's normal.
That's
Well,
all
I
funky
feel
stuff.
like that's a good thing up here. Yeah, we have some cell phone coverage, but there's no Wi-Fi. You can't game. It's just kind of like you gotta screw around, eat food, go outside. Enjoy the outdoors. So.
It has been so nice to just unplug and
Just sit around.
to lounge.
It's hard to sit around when you're at home
Yeah.
because there's always something to do. But when you're up here, you're like, meh, whatever.
I'm going to eat some more.
I'm gonna eat some more. Maybe take 2 naps and
Apparently, I snore when I take naps.
Yeah.
So
I think it's great that you passed out in the living room and took a nap. That,
Oh my gosh.
that makes me
Between
happy.
him and Brutus, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Oh,
I came
man.
out here.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna come out here.
I'm just gonna let them do their thing.
I had no intention of falling asleep, but I did.
Wow.
It's all the fresh air.
It was
Yeah,
just
it's-
lovely.
Yeah. So I think that's our highlights of the summer, I would say.
Yeah, and the trip with Stefan was just incredible. I mean, it was just a great way to end summer on a really strong note. He's so responsible and coming into his own, and like we would stay at hotels and he would of course want to go do his own thing, which that's fine. So I went to Walgreens one night because we needed a fan or else neither of us would sleep.
It's always a fan. We've gone on vacation too and be like, oh, I guess we're going to the store to buy a fan because we forgot one.
And I left him at the hotel and he went to the weight room and went and worked out.
Pump some iron.
Yeah. And then the next hotel we stayed at, they also had a gym. And so he asked if he could go. And I was like, sure. I actually went kayaking in the morning and left him at the hotel and he just did his thing. So
Slept.
slept and then went to the gym, I think. So it was just really a fun trip. Just seeing the independence in him and the respect and also just seeing his pure joy as he was jumping in. Like, he'd been talking about going cliff jumping all summer, and then he actually got to go do it. And it was just a ton of fun to see him in his happy space.
I think next year you need to up the ante and bring it, like, go to somewhere that's you might have to fly to do it.
Seriously.
I'm guessing out in the West is a lot of big cliffs.
Yeah, there are. I mean, in Oregon there are too.
Yeah,
but
that's West.
Yeah, I know.
Very West.
All right, Ben had in your impactful words. Each share a quote. I don't know.
If you have one, you don't have to.
If I have one, I don't have to.
I mean, if you don't have one,
We came up with one of the
I know.
boat, and I can't remember what
I know.
it was.
It was funny. We should have wrote it down. Something like, I don't know. Maybe it'll come to us.
Maybe.
Ben,
What's
go.
yours? I'm sure you have something prepared.
you really think I do?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you wrote this, so clearly you had something in your brain.
I wrote it down, but then I didn't.
Oh, my
think of
goodness.
I don't have anything at the moment. I forgot about this part.
I know.
I got one for you from the wise words of John. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Yes.
Or was that just that, or was it something else? Just don't be a dick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that was it.
Okay, I got mine. You guys are losers.
Right.
Ouch.
Yours was funny though, Megan. I
I
remember.
know, and I don't remember what
I
it
think
was.
you actually, it was somebody else that had said it. The quote, and you were like, "Oh, this would be funny on the podcast." I'm like, "Yeah, let's write it down." Wait, we didn't.
Rude.
Do we just want to jump into the next segment then?
I think that's probably fine.
I was thinking of a Brene Brown quote, but I don't want to ruin it.
Oh, yes.
She said something about like you can't like something about like people pleasing, and she's like, "You're not the jackass whisperer. Like you can't make everybody happy." She's the
That's
best.
hilarious.
I don't know if you guys
have.
have ever like heard anything of hers or read anything of her. She is the ultimate badass. Like she coined a term called badassery. Like I don't
She's a
know.
badass bitch.
She is a badass bitch. I don't think she's a bitch, but she's awesome.
Right. I say that endearing.
Right. No, she's badass for sure.
Oh, so just so before as we segment into the next, we are creating some new merch. We're got somebody locally that's going to design some stuff for us. So we put out there about some funny things, some threads that have gone through the podcast. And one of the things that a couple of people brought up was counselor versus therapist.
Yes.
So we had a long form discussion about Ben calls it a counselor, I call it a therapist. Now, do I believe both are correct? Yes. So it's just kind of a funny thing we've been talking about. But we did a poll on
sure
Facebook,
did.
Facebook and Twitter.
I'm so glad you did.
I know, just to make sure that I was right. Facebook, 88% said therapist, 12% counselor, and Twitter, 75% therapist, 25% counselor.
Come on, Facebook people.
It's a therapist. I'm going to be a therapist. I am
Yeah,
a therapist.
it's true.
I don't call myself a counselor. That just sounds weird.
I think counseling, like if you wouldn't go to a financial therapist,
Yeah.
you would go. What happened?
She kicked me.
I keep
But-
kicking her.
But when I studied at George Fox, it was the
I know,
counseling program.
We've been through this. Can we let this die?
Maybe
No.
it was more of a counselor thing back in the day, and now it's therapist. I'll give you that.
Maybe it's a Midwest thing
It could
versus
very
a
well be.
Pacific Northwest thing, but
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's therapy. I think you can go learn, like it's a counseling program, but you become a therapist.
Okay. Moving on.
Oh,
I'm wrong. You're
No,
right.
we're just
Ooh.
discussing it. No one's right or wrong
Did
except
he
we're
roll his
right.
eyes when he said that?
Did he
Did.
roll his eyes?
a
He
big
did.
one.
They went all the way back.
I thought you said all on your back, and I was like, that.
Eyeballs
the
on
way
your
back.
back.
Yeah, I got
That
it.
just got weird.
You made it weird.
Your mom made it weird.
Come on.
Okay.
All right. Well, with that feedback, that poll that showed that I was clearly in the wrong or not.
Well,
quite
I don't
right.
think it was you right or wrong. I think most people just see it as therapist.
It's true. So
You were outvoted. It
I
wasn't.
was.
It wasn't that you were wrong. It's just that most people call it therapy or
yes.
therapist.
Well, my black and white self, there's no gray. I'm right or I'm wrong.
It can
I
be
guess I was
both.
wrong.
It's ambiguous.
Okay. It's ambiguous.
Oh, that is a big word.
Yes, it is.
Thank you for using.
Ambiguous. It's big.
See what you did there.
Gosh, you guys.
You like that?
All right, Ben, why don't you read us some listener email, which we really appreciate. If you guys ever have something you want to discuss, not that we're the end-all, be-all, but it's really cool when people reach out to us and say, oh, I have this problem.
Wait.
What's up?
Sorry. Back to the merch, though.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
You were talking about counselor versus therapist, and then we started it again. Like funny quotes.
Yeah. Just things that maybe people would, I don't know. We just want, and we're not doing it to make money, because if someone buys a shirt, it's $24.95. That includes tax and shipping. We make $6. So it's not like we're out making money. It would be cool to see some people wearing some Threads merch, and I know a few people have T-shirts. But this company is really cool. They're local in Grand Rapids. They actually work with Eric Zane. So that's how I got hooked up with them, and they've been really helpful. And they're like, "Yeah, we'll design it. We'll throw some designs for you, like no charge, any of that
that's
stuff."
Cool.
So, we just pay. You just pay $24.95. You get shipped to you, and that's tax and all of it. So it's all $24.95.
I have a question for my wife. No, I mean from my wife.
I was just going to ask myself.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go for it.
No, that's okay. You can.
My wife would like to know if they have soft T-shirts.
That's a good question. I will ask.
You.
I will ask.
It's an important question.
It's a very
I
important
got in
question.
a really awkward spot. I'm sorry. Like I just got to do it.
You digging for gold down there?
Yeah, so it's the Larry and Jericho own Twisted Bat, but one of them's the designer, one of them's the T-shirt guy. So I will reach out to them. Yeah, you know who has amazing soft T-shirts? The Mitten store.
Oh, okay.
Laugh Fest gets all their T-shirts from there, and they're like butter soft.
It's the Canvas brand. My friend designs T-shirts too, and she gets the Canvas ones, like the taco shirt that I was wearing yesterday. It's soft, and so if it was a soft shirt, I would wear it way more than if it was like a hard, stiff cotton shirt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I will look into that, but I'll let you know those cotton ones are expensive. Yeah, I mean
More expensive than $24.99.
$24.99 is a lot for a shirt.
It's $24.95, and that includes shipping. So you got to figure $5 of that shipping. I got a boob too.
I can't even concentrate.
like
You're
a
in that nose
mustache.
so
I've
much.
got a boob?
A boob.
Boog.
I thought you said I've got
Bugger.
a boob. I was like,
Stop kicking.
I'm not. That's my wife.
no, I wasn't. I just put my feet down.
Look
It
at you.
was
You both pulled your feet back.
My feet have been back here
Sorry,
this whole time.
man,
My
got
gosh.
distracted. $24.95, and that includes shipping though. Shipping's usually $5 to $6, so it's like a
That
$20.
still seems like a lot for a shirt.
Cry me a
Usually they're
river,
like
build a bridge, and get
$10.
over it.
You're not going to get a $10 shirt from anybody that does stuff like this. I guarantee it. Where did you get a $10 shirt?
Okay, just keep going.
I'm getting fussy.
Well,
Shooting down my-
I'm not shooting it down, but I'm just saying people would wear them more if they felt good.
No, that I agree with, but you're bitching about the price. So
No, I'm not bitching about the price. I'm just saying for $24.99, I would think you would get a softer shirt.
These two have like the same personality, and they just kind of go at each
Yeah.
other. And Megan and I are just
okay.
kind of sitting
well,
here
I think
laughing.
like Andy and I haven't spent a ton of time, but we drop in like we've been together for years,
I
and
know,
we
it
just go
works.
back and forth.
I know it works.
And it's $24.95, not $99.
Oh my gosh,
It's 4
the
cents.
4
Anyways, look forward to some merch. We'll have the link on our website once we get everything up and running. So,
All right.
Ben,
well,
listener-
back to our listener feedback. I digress. I actually didn't digress. I've been wanting
I
to
think
say
Ben's
I'm
getting
drunk.
uncomfortable.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? Because we're both here.
Yeah, because we're barking at each
Is
other.
Megan uncomfortable?
No, she's just enjoying the show.
She's just like,
I just need a bucket
okay.
of popcorn. Just kick
Yeah,
back.
like the
Right.
Michael
I
Jackson
don't even know
gif.
why I'm here. Nom, 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 nom. That's the guy with the chair.
It's like, I'm just here for the comments.
Yeah, I'm just here for
Yeah.
the comments.
Well, Megan, you're here because we have a question for you.
I'm gonna put a dot. Following.
Do I hate it when people do
Yes,
that.
can we address that because
Yes.
that is my pet peeve.
Do not put a dot or say following. Just press the follow button.
So there's not just a follow button. You have to do the 3 little dots.
Okay, fine. Press the 3 little dots button and then follow
Yeah.
Click
post.
follow.
Right, but you can do that.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yes, see, a lot of people don't know that, but
Public service announcement.
I don't
Thank
think
you.
I knew that either.
it's so annoying when people say following.
I
I'm
don't
like,
do that. I just
Truly,
really look if I need to, but
I think it started with all of those, like when you're selling stuff on different marketplaces and stuff, you start going in the order. And so all you would have to do is hit a period or sold, and you'd start doing that, and then you'd follow your thread and do it that way. I think people just assume.
Really? Because
I-
Facebook Marketplace hasn't been around that long.
I see it a lot on like different groups. Like I'm in a bunch of like culturally fluent families or like multiracial family groups, you know, just because we have a child of a different ethnicity that we're raising. But a lot of people will do that too. Like, I don't know, but following, or people be like, following. I'm like, just follow, or like add something. I mean, or just creepily stalk like I do and not say anything. But
Anyways, public service announcement. You don't have to type following or
Don't
a
type
period.
following.
Or a period.
Go ahead, Benner.
All right.
Benner.
Benny?
Benner,
Benner?
Benny,
Boo?
Benjamin. Public
Benny
service
Boo
announcement.
Boo
I really
Boo.
hate it when people say Benjamin. Like, there's
Benjamin?
no ERMAN in my name.
Benjamin.
Yes. Where does that even come
Who
from?
says that?
Lots of people.
Benjamin.
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 I think if you
Michigan.
Benjamin.
Benjamin.
Ooh, I guess I do.
Benjamin.
Benjamin.
Benjamin. Like
Yeah,
Benjamin.
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 Anyway.
Benjamin. Oh, I might say Benjamin. That came off real too easy.
Do Andy and Meaghan ever get frustrated with all your podcast projects? Grand Rapids Rideshare, Threads, and the possible solo one Ben was talking about has to keep you busy on its own. How do you balance family time, work, and the podcasts?
Well, I think that last part of the question is geared to the two of you,
Yeah, you're
not
right.
to the two of
Why
us.
don't we speak first and then you guys can talk about your balancing?
Shall we on the count of three? Does this frustrate you? 1, 2, 3.
Sometimes.
Yes. Oh.
Oh.
I changed mine to sometimes.
Oh, we're going to have a little chat after the podcast.
Okay, so
That
all the
just
time.
happened.
let me go first. I think sometimes it's frustrating, and back, not to rehash the whole night where he bailed on you, but I was pissed too because he knew about his parents' house and tried to do it all.
But I would just for the record, since we're recording, I put 100% of the blame on him.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know. No, I didn't think you were upset with me.
No.
I knew you were upset with him. I was just worried that it was going to like do something to you guys' friendship.
Nah.
So I'm glad you worked it out.
We had to come to Jesus.
I know.
meeting.
I know.
it was a good meeting.
It was.
It was good. So I think that stuff frustrates me sometimes. Like that part of like when it's things like that.
Just lack
I
of
don't think
scheduling.
that's the podcast that frustrates you. It's my lack of planning that frustrates you.
Well, I mean, it
Because
boils.
it could have been soccer. It could have
Yeah.
been church. It could have been anything.
It wouldn't have been any of those things though.
Well, you're right.
So, but the good part for me, and I don't want to throw you under the bus or anything, but I think
Do it, dude. That's a motorcycle.
I think
Yeah, I know that was terrible.
I think since the podcast and like just connecting with Jason, I feel like it sounds super nasally, and I don't mean to be.
You're from Michigan, yo.
I know. I think before pre-Jason, pre-podcast, like not that you didn't have a lot of friends, but I don't feel like you in Michigan, or at least in this
Yes.
phase.
Yeah.
And I think you would admit that too. Like you've
Absolutely.
said that. And I think it's just been really good for him to like have connections outside of me. Does that make sense? Like
No.
it takes a little bit of the pressure off of me
Yeah.
to like have to be all
On all the time.
all things and on all
Yeah.
things. So I'm like, oh, I'm really glad that you talked to him about not going off Mets cold turkey, or like, maybe I should have said that on the podcast. It's just like,
so loud.
or like,
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
or like, you kicking his ass about not, going to therapy and like that stuff. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just nice to have somebody else
Yeah,
for
I
him
totally
to bounce
get it.
stuff off of. And not that I am not happy to do that stuff. Obviously I do, but I'm hoping you're not taking any offense to any
No,
of
I don't
this.
think he is. You're doing a good job.
But
with
I just think like that part, it's been super positive, I think, for him, and like just seeing some of that confidence gaining. But it does take up a lot of time. So, and I think that
Yes.
Meaghan is nodding. So I'm gonna stop talking, and it's your turn. Go.
No, that was good. No, it takes up a lot of time. Jason has a high work ethic. If you guys didn't know that.
Yeah.
High standards.
High standards, which phenomenal if you need forward motion. I mean,
Because we're professionals.
Absolutely. Be
You're
very
so
careful. Be very
You're
careful.
getting your ass kicked when this is done.
No, but you need
looks,
Jason's and you need Ben's to move
Yes.
a project
Yep.
forward in the right way. If you have two Ben's, make no forward motion. If you have
Yes.
two Jasons, you fist fight in the
You
first
kill each
one,
other.
and there is no more podcast. I
Yeah.
think there's really good things, but that is where a lot of the issues that arise with podcasting around scheduling, all those little things that add up. It's not just, and Jason does do a lot for this stuff. It trickles into it does not stay business. It trickles into our personal life. And for that,
Mm-hmm.
and when things are going down and he's very distracted or has to, it's a podcast night and I'm just like,
Really?
not recording podcasts, but you getting ready for podcasts. Sometimes I just would like to hang out.
Yeah,
I mean, here's the thing, Jason. I mean, the studio's at your house, so naturally you end up with a fuller plate than I do, than Jesper does for GR Rideshare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you can just go downstairs and work on things, and that's good, but it's also not so good.
Yeah.
Because I hear what Megan's saying, and it's like I'd probably be, I don't know.
I can't imagine if it was all at our house.
well,
because
here-
you'd be
We
the same
worked out a way to schedule it. It
Well,
used to be willy nilly.
Yeah, I always say to her, hey, can I go work? Not that I'm asking permission. I'm like, is it cool if I go work downstairs? Here's the thing, though. If I didn't have that, I'd be sitting on my phone.
That's true.
So, I mean, at least I'm doing something productive. Not to say I would always sit on my phone.
You mean playing Clash Royale isn't productive?
No, but it's fun. No, we've gotten a lot better at that. When we first started,
Yes.
it was terrible. We fought all the time, and I'm like, okay, I need to bring this back a little bit. Like, hey, I need to go. And you usually leave me alone, too, which is nice, and then I get it done. I don't typically dream down there, which I did before, where I was like, oh, I wonder if I could do this, and I start just dicking
I see what
around.
you're
Now I
saying.
just go down there and get my work done, and then I dream without being in front of the computer. So, but I do. I spend a lot of time down there, but I enjoy it. Like, that is my hobby. I don't, podcasting has become, I just love it. I just love it. Like, I know I'm like nerding out here, but I love the tech end of it. It's frustrating, but it also is fun to
If
figure
it could
stuff
be
out.
a full-time job, would you like it to be your full-time job?
As a podcaster,
Mhm.
I think I would.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I'd get bored with it.
I don't think I could do it every day like Eric does.
Yeah.
I just don't think I would. I mean, he's gotten so much better doing a one-man show. I mean, it was rough at the beginning, but he just rocks it now. I mean, he has ads in there, so it does help. But I bet if he does an hour show, I bet he does 45 minutes of content and about 15 minutes of ads.
That's a lot of talking.
That's a lot of talking. So back to the topic at hand, though. I just I apologize to everyone at this table if I've ever pushed too hard and it's fallen back on you or Ben. And we're learning together, and Ben's taught me some things, like, unsolicited advice. I always just give people advice, and now I do it outside of Ben. I'd be like, I probably shouldn't say anything. You know what I mean? Like, I really want to, but I'm like, oh, Ben has taught me that. So Ben's been great. I don't know. I'm getting off topic.
But I see the positive. There's the positive spin on what podcasting has brought, is that you and I have talked about you haven't had a close friend since your last close friend, who was a misogynistic D-bag. And
but I've never had an emotional close friend. Like, I feel like I emotionally
Sure.
can tell Ben something, and he's not going to be like, you bitch. You know what I mean? Or just like, quit being a bitch.
Well, I think
Suck it
too
up, Buttercup.
that,
Yeah.
and it's interesting because we do tend to we tend to draw to couples who the wife is similar personality to you,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and the husband similar personality to
That's
me.
true.
There's another
Yeah.
couple of couples we have that are like that.
Yeah.
And I think the emotional consequences between you and your spouse, the same conversation, like you and Ben can have the same conversation, you and I can have the same conversation, and it goes completely different here between the two of you. And I'm like, why are you so much nicer to Ben than you are to me?
Well,
like I hear you
exactly.
talking to him and you're like, I understand where you come from. I'm like, what the hell?
I know, and I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
wait,
only on the podcast.
but no,
I told
no,
her, I
but-
said that there is some showmanship on the podcast.
I
mean,
mean, on Telegram, I hear you two loving at each other, and I'm like, where?
I know,
Why?
I know. Well, or I think I need to go to counseling or therapy or whatever.
Jason told me.
Jason, and I'm like, what the? I've been telling you for years that you need to go
but
back.
there's different emotional
That's
consequences.
what I was saying.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just saying, I'm giving you an example of that too, or just other things that I'm like, yeah, Jason said it. I'm like, I said the same dang thing to you, but somehow if Jason says it, then it's like gospel, God's
Well,
truth.
I think it's the same as like a teacher and a parent, or some like where a kid respects
Yep.
a coach.
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
coach told me to do this. Like, yeah, I've been telling you for a year to quit smoking, or whatever it is.
Yeah,
I don't
sure,
know what
that's
it is.
fair.
Sure.
But yeah, I
No,
don't know.
it's the emotional consequences are very different.
They're
but
different.
but I do think that's where that works very well. And then I can sometimes understand, like, I think this is where Ben's coming from on this
Exactly.
one. You're like,
I've done the same thing. And I'm like, maybe you need to say it this way to Jason or give him some feedback here. Because
Jason, he's being a dick.
Did you respond to Jason yet? No.
well,
Why should
you
I?
probably should, because he's probably going, well, now he's getting pissed because you're not answering. Just answer and be
Meanwhile,
done with
in the
this.
Teary house, Ben will still not answer.
I just let you know I'm a little bitch. So I mean,
Well, yeah.
I am a little whiny bougie. Batch.
Well, that's why I say that's I think been the most difficult part of this is it trickles into, and
Yes.
then I will get to the point where I start to just advise, like, this is what you should do. Why do you keep doing a thing that causes you issues? And you're like, oh, there's another tech issue. I'm like, why do we keep? I don't know. I don't understand. You're like, you don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, it bleeds into
Is that
family.
a puppy dog face?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, honestly, Ben is more focused on his family. I mean, and that's a good thing. And not that I'm not, but I mean, I need my stuff. Like that, what keeps me alive. If I didn't have those kind of hobbies, I would go nuts.
Well, and I think
So-
right now, at least in the season that we're in, he's had to be a little bit more
Yeah.
focused just with things
And
that
I-
have been going on.
Yes, I can understand that. Except when he missed that podcast record.
Yes.
Like that was a complete scheduling.
Well, and
F up. It was
remember
bad.
how you and I differ in just our core self. Your core self is inwardly focused and mine is outwardly focused.
Yes.
That is what I see similarly between Ben and I, is that he is worried about everyone else at his own detriment.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Jason is worried about himself to his own detriment.
Yes.
Right. And I mean that with all the love in the world, but you need to take care of you to be able to give to others.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I prefer it's easier for me to give to others and completely ignore myself. And then I start getting weird about stuff. And like,
Yep.
I need therapy after a certain point. And I can see where when Ben's like, nope, my family's more important. And Jason's like, what the hell?
Well, he's never said that, and I've never gone, what the hell? Let's just be frank
Well,
on
that
that.
Sunday night
That's
you were.
the nitty gritty of the conversation in a nutshell.
I don't know what you
Nutshell.
said to him that Sunday night, and I was like, I was just like, what are you doing? There is no way that you can do both of these things.
And that's
It's like,
exactly
well,
what Megan's
we're
talking about.
we're gonna eat at 1:00. I'm like, no, we're not eating until 4. Well, I guess I'll just tell Jason I can't come. And I'm like, oh God. Like, this is not going to go well. I'm like, how did Jason take that? He's like, he's pissed. And
There
I'm
was
like,
no
well,
win in that for you.
I'm like, there's no win. There would have been no
Yep.
win. And so, yeah, you worry about everybody else. And
Well, it's important for Ben to be there because, let's face it, I thrive on him. He thrives on me.
Yeah.
When I'm by myself, I was a little nervous. I
did-
honestly was a little nervous.
you did good, though.
Well,
You did
Todd
very
talked
well.
the whole time, so I didn't even have to say a word.
You lucked out that it happened to be the Todd.
the radio
Yeah.
guy.
Talker.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, I was frustrated with Ben. I was just mad that he didn't put it in the calendar or, it's like, because that was the second time.
Because you love each other.
That's right. I don't know. I do have high standards, and I need to relax a little bit, big time.
I don't have high standards, and I need to up my game a little bit.
Yeah,
in that
That's why it
regard.
works really well,
Yeah.
though.
You have high
yeah,
standards.
I need to go down, and he needs to go up, and then
I
it's
don't-
perfect.
I don't know that you don't have high standards.
No,
when you
it's
do
just-
stuff, your quality is pretty good, and you don't
Right.
stop.
But I don't have high standards for myself. Like, if
Oh.
I procrastinate or if I
Oh.
forget about something, I just kind of treat it like, meh,
Oh.
whatever.
Really?
Do you find that you
'Cause I'm
have
not
high
like
standards
that.
when you
Me either.
choose it? Like, I've chosen this project and I'm going to do it in its entirety because it's mine and I chose it, versus someone says, this is a due date you need to do. And you're like, F you, I'm not doing it. Because that's where I struggle. When people put things on me, put the
Yes.
pressure on me, I'm like, and I won't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
what.
mean, I didn't tell you this. I didn't tell anybody this, but
Uh-oh.
Oh, jeez.
Uh-oh.
here we
Hold on.
go.
Hang
Hold
on.
He is a sex therapist. Go. I've actually been.
No, so on Tuesday, we had an assignment at work that we had to have a prepared value proposition statement, which is basically talking about why our company's the best and why you want to work with us. I have mine memorized, like I do it every time I talk with a customer. It's like second nature. I completely forgot about the assignment because I was too overly confident with myself. And then Tuesday morning comes around, and in our sales team meeting, we're supposed to all read our value prop statements. And so it comes to my turn, and Tyler's like, all right, Ben, you're up. And I'm just like, you
froze?
I didn't write anything because I didn't have anything prepared. I was like, I forgot about that. I didn't do it. And there was just this silence.
Crickets.
And Tyler's just looking at me like this glare. And I'm just
I
like,
bet.
oh boy.
Why didn't you just do your spiel? Why didn't you be like, well, I don't write it down, but this is what I typically say about our company?
Because he doesn't think on his feet like that.
I don't.
See, I
Super
disagree.
well. See,
When we're in podcasting, I love
It's
it when he
different.
interviews because
It's different.
He remembers stuff like happened 20 minutes ago, and he's like, I want to bring this back
he's
around. I'm like,
chosen the
Because
podcast.
he's chosen it, and it's different. It's totally different. See, in that moment, I would have been like, but this is what I would say. And this is what
Yeah,
I
that's
said.
what I would have
couldn't
do too.
it. I
He doesn't.
couldn't.
He doesn't think on his feet like that. No.
And then when Friday's one-on-one came, that's something that Tyler continued doing that Jason started. We meet with our sales manager on Fridays for one-on-one to recap the week. And Tyler was like, I was so pissed. He's like, but I have to say, I really, truly, genuinely appreciate the fact that you didn't lie and you didn't try to just make something up. You just admitted that you forgot.
Well, shit. We.
No, but we wouldn't be making something
No.
up. You would be saying what you normally say to
Right.
your customers or to a new
I just
sale.
couldn't. Like I was, I don't know. I just felt so inauthentic to try to make something up in that moment, and I couldn't. I couldn't get my brain to fire. That
Apparently,
way.
we're good liars, Andy.
So
I mean, I can talk some
mad game.
Some mad
Well,
game.
you guys are high performers in that you don't want to look stupid either. You're not going to let yourself look dumb. So you're
Yep.
going to meet yourself in the middle.
No, I mind
and-
you, if I didn't have anything like he said he had to his customers, I would just call a spade a spade. I wouldn't just make
in
something.
front of your boss, though? In
Yes.
front of other people?
Because I know what I would say would sound like complete crap if I didn't have that. Because he just said to us that he had his
Yeah.
speech already in his head.
like I knew
Yeah.
I could have. If I was in the right mindset, yeah, I could have just spit it out.
What time was this?
It was in the morning,
Like 8:15?
like 9.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's too
that was your
early for
problem.
Ben.
Yeah,
Mhm.
y'all know me too well.
I know. It's like if it was 2 in the afternoon. Well, no, like 1 in the afternoon, maybe.
That's prime time.
That's prime time
Yeah.
for Ben. So, wow,
Prime
this got
prospecting
really
time.
prospecting.
Deep?
No,
like
no.
it's supposed to?
No, it just got really off topic, but I really appreciate it. So, long story short, Megan hates the podcast, and I spend too much time on it.
I don't hate the podcast.
I know.
Leave business.
How have you, speaking of that, how have you guys enjoyed being on recording with us? Except last time when I got fussy with you. But.
Do you want me to gauge it on last time?
No, just in general.
That was such a good episode.
It was good.
I think we both like.
Did you hear Megan's fight or flight kick in and dead
Yes.
silence happen because I freeze?
I thought you were
Like-
just gonna walk out and be done at that moment.
I told him after we were done, I considered it crossed. The first thing that crossed my mind was me just walking out. All done.
I would have kept that in there, but then we would have rallied and came back down. But I would have kept it in
It
there.
wouldn't have been able to be the same day because you would have heard, okay. You can go, I'm fine.
So
I'm a big crier. If you guys didn't know that, it's really bad. Big crier.
This is Avery Thierry speaking. Thank you so much for listening to Threads Podcast, Life Unfiltered. Please rate, review, and subscribe to my dad's podcast. I hope you enjoy hearing future episodes. If you like what you're listening to, don't forget to listen to their other podcast, Dear Rideshare Adventures. Have a great day, Thread listeners.
How have we liked being on the podcast?
yeah, how have you
Like with
enjoyed
the-
it,
when-
or have you enjoyed hearing the other spouses?
I've liked hearing it. Honestly, it's fine. I think for me right now, and I don't want to be all about me and selfish and whatever and what we have going on, but it's maybe we need to figure out a different time to do it because
at
I
night
just
is hard.
it's too hard at night and I don't have the bandwidth really. So maybe we need to do it like, you know, if we're going to try to do this moving forward, it needs to be like on a Saturday morning when
Yeah.
Miracle's at dance or something
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
a good idea.
But you have to listen to the podcast before you.
I know.
That's the problem.
I know. So I don't. Well, and I usually listen to it on Friday, so we could do it right
Oh,
after.
okay. Yeah.
And I think that'd be better for me, anyways, because then it's more fresh in my brain. But
yeah.
I
mean,
just
you were sitting in a recliner, falling asleep.
yeah. But
towards
even the
end.
time, the couple times before that, like it's
Yeah,
been later. I
it has
can't.
been.
I can't do it later.
Yeah, you should do it like Saturday morning, have a cup of coffee, and
Yeah.
just go down there and get her done.
So I think I enjoy doing it. I just think that it's like, like I got to do this now. And
I gave you an out one night. I think it was in June.
Yeah, you did when you did NPR, Ben. But yes. I had just been in an anti-racism training that whole entire day. So, and then to try to come back, I was like, and Miracle was rough that night. I'm like, I can't even put any logical words to anything. So, but I like listening to you guys. It's kind of fun, like listening to the banter, and because they're so like, I think Ben and Jason talked about this last time, but like the episodes and whatever. But when you guys were debriefing the parenting one, I was like, oh, they're so nice. Like,
it just felt so good to be affirmed and like to be understood. Yeah, because it's not easy being Miracle's parents, and you guys got to see, or at least Meaghan got to see a little bit of that last night.
Did.
And it's not pretty.
Well, affirmation is great. I mean, when someone says, you're doing the right thing, you're heading down the right road. You're doing good. It's good to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I speak the truth. I know I talk about showmanship, but that, if it wasn't true, I wouldn't have said it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I like it. It's good. I don't know. We just need to figure out a different time to do it. I think because I'm just too tired. So
yeah.
So before we jump in, before we jump into,
I didn't get to say mine.
What's up?
If you like
it too. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, for me, it's really about the only time I get your undivided attention. So. Did you just roll your eyes?
No, I kind of looked up.
Shook his
really?
head.
You were looking at that light?
Yeah,
behind me?
they're a moth.
No, but how often do we sit down and just talk about stuff?
That's what Ben and I talk about all the time. How often do we sit down across from each other and we're not on our phone answering text messages?
So it's not a bad thing that I said that.
No.
You grimaced like I JFK'd you from across the table.
Okay, go ahead.
That's all.
Okay.
I like getting actual scheduled time. Because we have not been good about that at all.
No.
Do you guys do date nights?
Well, I think we're going to... I didn't... Okay, just to clarify, that haul wasn't because I don't want to. The haul was like we never schedule them like we should.
I mean, you do the wing doozy nights on Sunday night.
Sunday nights are pretty sacred. Even if you and I record after that, like she gets the wings ordered, like you walk out and there's wings coming in. So, but no, I think Avery's starting to babysit a little bit more. And so we're going to take a little bit of advantage of that. Not like an all-night kind of date thing, but we do need to put that more on the schedule.
For sure.
So before we jump into that, I wanted to say, Ben, I'm not going to lie. So this week has been super stressful for me with Threads, and that you never spoke of the episode that was due yesterday, and I did not say a thing the entire week, and it was so stressful.
It was done.
I know.
This is where Jason is bougie and he needs you to acknowledge that he tried real hard.
It was done. I just had to take out that one part that
Right. So remember the week before or the 2 weeks before, I was like, can you let me know those things? Just say, yep, I'm going to edit on Thursday night, which it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I told Meaghan, I'm like, nope, I'm not going to ask him. I said I wouldn't, but it was so stressful this week. I probably brought it up like 10 times to Meaghan. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to ask him.
You can always message me
because she knows what I'm.
No, but I don't want to get you. It's not your biz. Like, I know, you shouldn't have to get involved.
It's fine, but it does trickle at me though too, because I don't know. I don't remember if it was the last time or the time before that we were supposed to record. But he's like, Jason wants to know when we're going to record, and we need to record by like Tuesday night or something, or we have to schedule this because he wants to know. And I'm like,
see, this is why you just need to leave him alone.
I know. I'm working on
You're
that.
Causing marital problems.
Marital problems.
I think my suggestion was, hey, Ben, try to do it earlier in the week, because when you run out of time, you run out of time. If it's Thursday night, because Ben likes it, he likes procrastinating.
I put the pro in procrastinate.
Right, and he does it, but he'll do it like 2 hours before it's due, and that's just not me.
I mean, my best work comes then. I work better under pressure sometimes.
See, I don't.
But that's where we differ, I guess.
Get stressed.
But it's fine, but I get it. And I think if I were in your position, I'd be feeling the same way, because I always was terrible with group projects. Because I'm like, when you're waiting for the other person to get their shit done and you don't know if they are, you don't want to be the nag and be like,
yeah,
do you have this done yet? Do you have this done yet? Do you have it done?
And I did. I successfully did not text him about it. We talked about everything else but that episode.
You sure did.
Then I told Megan that too. I'm like, we've literally talked about everything in the business except this episode. And I was like,
I did run that clip by you. I think that was on Wednesday.
No, that was on Thursday night as we were heading to the cabin. It was Thursday night.
Okay.
I deleted Telegram.
Oh, that's right. Because Wednesday,
You deleted Telegram for the weekend?
For the weekend. Yeah, because when we were walking out the door, you had sent me that.
Yeah.
So
I did start on it. I think it was Wednesday night, and then Thursday was like, oh, it's not actually done.
Right. So when you texted me that clip, I was like, we can drive north and it's all good.
Yeah, no, he was working on it like Tuesday and Wednesday.
No,
I feel like.
I'm sure he was, but he didn't mention it.
I didn't talk about it.
Would it help you if I see him working on the podcast to text you and tell you that he's working on the podcast?
No, because that's going to cause strife.
No, it's just the fact that everybody knows it. I'm an internalizer. I don't necessarily broadcast. I'm working on the podcast now.
But that's weird because you like reactions.
Not Jason's reactions.
Yeah.
Could that be on your T-shirt? I like reactions, just not Jason's.
Yeah.
Just not Jason.
No, I should know that he's going to get it done. I should know that. He's never not gotten it done.
Thank you.
And if it doesn't get done, I told Megan, I'm like, you know what? She's like, you're not going to text him at all? I said, at 6:01 in the morning, if that's not uploaded, he will be getting a text from me and saying, hey, did you do the podcast?
I even scheduled the social.
Yep.
Everything's fine.
Yep. He did great on that.
I think setting boundaries for yourself, that is a hard boundary to set, but I think it's a good goal for you to know, like, goal. Okay, I won't say anything, but if it don't come in.
And don't get me wrong, I failed too. I forgot GR a couple of times where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I edited it, but I forgot to upload it. So it has happened to me, and I just want to let you know that it stressed the hell out of me. But I'm proud of myself. I'm going to pat myself on the back. I did not ask him, and thank you. I did not ask him, and that's a win for me.
And it was a very pleasant week because you didn't ask.
I don't know. I think if
There's
it was
motivation for next time.
I feel like if it was our podcast though, and you were supposed to be doing because I would probably ask you too. I mean, I get it from your perspective, Jason, because I'm the same.
Well, I talk things out, and he's an internalizer.
You're a verbal processor.
I would be like, so I'm going to do this. I'm definitely going to get this done. And he knows that. I talk stuff out. Like, okay, these are the things I'm going to do today.
This is what I do all the time with him. And he's like, okay.
Yep, okay.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like, and this is something that I've noticed about Jason and my wife. My wife, when she talks about her day, compared to me talking about my day, I use maybe 10 words to describe my day. And I get the play-by-play of her day. Like,
see, it's flip flop for us because even though I'm a talker,
that might be male and female.
I'm like, it was okay, fine, and then she's got these, 7 to 10 minute stories, 3 or 4 of them. Do
you think it's the nature of the work?
Could be. She's got a lot more politics and drama than I do. I'm like fertilizing lawns. Hey, I killed a dandelion today.
I saw a bunny.
I ran over a bunch of baby bunnies. I didn't get any this year, at least that I know of, so that's good. Usually once or twice a year I run over them.
And then, Jason, you've made a comment a couple of times like, you don't really talk about work very much. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
You told me that I don't.
Really? I might have said you do.
No,
and I don't want to hear it anymore.
I'm pretty sure you said on the podcast, like, you used to talk about it all the time, and now you don't.
Yeah, you said that when we sat down like 2 weeks ago.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
But anyway, I digress.
You could tell him he talked about dinosaurs. He wouldn't know.
Like Barney,
am I lying?
Is it about the podcast?
What?
Are we talking about the podcast? Then I would remember.
Oh. Except we're just talking about something you said on the podcast that you didn't remember.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Anyways.
But I guess my whole point was I don't necessarily talk about the things that I'm doing. I just kind of do them.
And I need to be like, Ben's a grown-ass man. He'll get it done. If he doesn't, then he knows that the wrath of Jason will come down at 6:01.
And that wrath is pretty wrathful.
I'm trying to be better. I am.
Man, I feel like this just got real, like, I don't know.
Well, and we'll end it with this: is I just try to put 100% of what I can in my projects. So that's just all it is. I have a high work ethic. Not to say that your work ethic is not high, but I'm saying for me, it's like
your work ethic is as high as my grammatical standards.
Wow.
There you go. It's just something that I just do. When I do stuff, I do it 100%. You know. So.
And I think Ben does too. He just doesn't talk about it.
I don't think the podcast, especially like with GR, I don't think it excites him as much as it does me, and that's okay.
GR is not really. I don't find it exciting. I look forward to Threads.
But here's the thing: he says that, but every time I look over him, he's laughing his frickin' ass off during the podcast because we start going down weird roads. So I'm like, you're literally enjoying yourself.
It's showmanship.
No, it's not.
It's not. You like doing it.
No.
Because if you didn't like doing it, then you wouldn't. Do it.
I think it's because I get after him too hard on the producing stuff, and he just wants to be done with that. Which, whatever. That's Andy's yawning, so we better move on.
Oh boy!
But anyways, long story short, let's hear the listener email.
Yes. The next item of feedback we got is from somebody who'd like to remain anonymous. He says, "My wife is 25 years old and struggles with feelings of being a failure and just having an overall negative attitude towards things. I try to be there for her as much as I can, but I also get internally frustrated because I don't feel like there's anything else I can do other than listen to her vent." Been there. I feel like I put that in bold because I can relate to that. I like to fix things, so I totally get where this listener's coming from. And then he goes on to say, and try to help work through issues with some of my opinions. Don't do that. It doesn't work. And be positive about things going on in our lives. Yes, positivity helps. And I really want to do more because honestly, who wants to see their spouse struggle like this? The road that led here has two main factors: her job and her friendships. She went to GRCC and got a degree in the medical field and passed her state licensing test. Over the last 2+ years, she tried to get a job in the field, numerous interviews, a couple of different related jobs in the medical field, and had no luck. She recently decided to give up and leave the medical field and try an office assistant job in a different field, but this has also caused issues. The atmosphere at this office is very negative, and as the new girl, she is blamed for a lot of the mistakes found in the paperwork. So, enter negative thoughts such as, I'm never going to have a job that I love. The second part of all this is losing quite a few close friends from college and not making many new friends at the same time. So this leads to thoughts of, what's wrong with me? I must be a terrible person if people don't want to be friends with me anymore. Who's going first?
Well, I feel like
you didn't go down anymore. And I thought we were still going.
Oh, no, I feel like this is definitely a lady question. I mean, we'll put our 2 cents in too, but coming from a female perspective, I think is helpful.
Yeah, I mean, because I can totally relate to what he's saying about, what can he do other than just listen to her vent and give his opinion?
Yeah. Don't you feel like, do you ever have that with Andi? You just feel a little helpless, like she's telling you, like, I know she wants, I mean, should I try to fix this? What do I do here?
Yeah, like with job stuff, like if she's looking for a job and hasn't heard back, like there's a part of me that wants to be like, okay, let's take a look at your resume or let's talk about interviews. And it's just like, no, that's not going to help. I just need to listen to her and be affirming and encouraging.
I feel like with Meaghan and I do try to kind of sometimes say, okay, is this a listen time or is this a fixing time? Because I don't want to fix if you don't want to fix, and I just want to listen. So,
and you've said to me a couple of times, I don't want you to fix this or something similar to that.
Yeah.
I just want you to listen. So that's a big thing.
I mean, if you would have, I'm pretty sure I asked you about my resume, but anyway, that's besides the point. You were like, I don't know, I just don't know my resume. It's fine. I don't do that anymore. Whatever.
Well, I used to, as a side hustle before Uber and Lyft, I would work on people's resumes.
Oh, just like freshen them up or... Oh, that's
and
cool.
You didn't work on Andy's resume?
I did her initial one.
You should do it on Fiverr if that's what you did.
I
you
did.
You can
on
make a little
Fiverr.
extra. Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did they take a big cut?
Not back in the day.
No? I was just curious about that.
Anyway, so is this listener like asking for us to unpack it, or does he want help for himself, or does he want help for his wife?
He mainly wants help for his wife.
Okay.
And that's
And-
tough.
Like, I mean, he said something along the lines of, I know you're going to say counseling.
Which,
Therapy.
Sorry, therapy. Gosh, dang it.
Well, and I guess as a therapist, I would start there. So I'm wondering if she has found anybody to talk to, just to kind of process through some of that stuff. Because I think 25. I mean, she's still pretty young.
Yes, super young.
So
Tiny baby.
I think a lot of this is like pretty normal. So
I think that's probably the biggest thing we can do is normalize this for them. Like, this isn't unique to you, and this too shall pass, I think is the advice I would give.
I think in being
Well-
being 25 is young and married. I mean, I was young.
Yeah.
I was married at 20, and it was the worst mistake of my life. And being
we married young too, and it was hard. Like, I remember just communicating. Like, there was one night where we had to go to the grocery store, and I had decided, and here we go again, Ben failing to communicate because I'm an internalizer. I had decided that I was going to have the youth group boys over to our house for breakfast on Sunday mornings for waffles. And so I was like, we need to go stop at the grocery store because the kids are coming over for breakfast in the morning. And that was the first she had heard about it. And it was
Oh, boy.
Saturday night. So young 20-something Ben, wanting to do this cool thing with the youth group, has a wife that I didn't even consider
yeah.
in that thought process.
I was
So
so
she was
pissed.
like, she came in the store with me, but no, she didn't.
No, I didn't come to the store. I was
you stayed in
mad.
the car.
And then I think what happened is you pulled in and I was just ticked and I didn't say anything and he just stormed out of the car and went in himself. And then he got out. This is the part I remember is he did get 2 candy bars, but he didn't tell me that he bought me one. He just had one for himself and ate it in front of me. I
Oh
was so
my
pissed.
gosh, Ben.
That seems like a peace offering.
So we drive the 20-minute drive home and then he's like, oh, I bought you a candy bar. It's in the bag.
You're lucky she didn't slit your throat right there.
We survived that.
Oh
man.
my gosh. Anyway, so yeah, being young and married is very
It's tough.
difficult.
Young and married is hard.
Although we don't know how old the guy is. He may be older, but my guess
But
is
she's
they're
still young.
right. But I'm guessing they're around the same age. So
I would think so. So I was thinking when I was reading about this or hearing about this. So I'm kind of a nerd. Some of you guys
okay.
know that I'm like, I've done a little bit of therapy on the side and I'm going to start doing that full time. But I just think about, I'm thinking about this from like, I don't know, like a therapist perspective. So there's a guy, some of you might have heard of him, but his name is Eric Erickson. And I know Megan knows about Erickson, but he has these 8 stages of psychosocial development. And so basically you can look it up. Maybe they'll put a link on the show notes to this stuff.
that's way too much work.
No, it's not. It's just a link to this site. And
Hey, I'm
it
trying to
explains
cut
what
down
they
my
are.
podcast commitment.
Ben can do it. It'll take 5 seconds to copy this
I know,
in there.
I'm
Gosh,
just
stop
teasing.
being a D. So anyway, there's 8 different stages that you go through in your life according to Erickson, and they start at birth and it goes all the way through death. And so there's a bunch
You're
of
putting
things.
Jason to sleep.
I'm sorry.
So there's a bunch of things. So during adolescence, there's a stage called identity versus role confusion. And then in your early 20s through your 40s, you're supposed to do intimacy versus isolation. So it's basically all about finding yourself, finding out who you are, looking at your sense of self, what your role is in life and things like that. So I'm just wondering if maybe she hasn't figured that part out yet and looking at, who she is as a person or what she likes or I don't know, just maybe she hasn't had a chance to form some of those connections. So that's just where I kind of go. So they'll put a link to the show notes. You can read about that in there and just kind of see, like, this is what you're supposed to be doing and this is what can happen if you don't do it right. I don't know if that made sense to anyone.
No, it did.
Jason's
It
like
does.
looking at me like I'm dumb.
No,
You're
I'm
not
not.
dumb.
I was just noticing I could see your eyes now that the light
Oh,
from the
yeah.
phone lit your face up.
Oh.
And I was,
She has beautiful eyes.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh, here we go.
Oh, trying to kiss ass after
Yeah.
letting us know about that horrendous story.
Mr. Sex Expert over
and
there.
25 is a really
Yeah.
tough age to. So I think some of it is that Facebook fake, right? That
Right.
everyone stays friends with their college buddies. Not
No.
some people do.
I would
I think
say
it's more of a
90%
guy thing.
I would say 90% don't.
Yeah, I see a lot of new nurses in the profession, and they are all best friends with each other now that they've found their career and they work with these people on a consistent basis. Now they're all best friends, and
Right.
you will find friends as you move to different stages, and you will lose friends as you move to different
Yes.
stages. And coming out of college and going into your trade, your whatever, getting new jobs, when everybody is kind of dispersing and trying to figure it all out, a lot of those relationships go away. And that is a tough age. And now you're married. And so you don't really hang out, you and your husband and your single friend. You
Right.
start looking for other couples. And then,
Yep.
then people start having kids. And you will, once you have kids, you only hang out with people that have kids because everybody else doesn't get you and you can't stay out late. And
Right.
you just, as you move, you lose friends along the way and gain friends along the way. And there's a small percentage that stay around through all of that. And to not compare, it may not be you, but it sounds like she's struggling in all aspects. So there is, I think, some encouragement from his perspective for, I agree, therapy, but also some introspective of, if you feel like there's something wrong with you, why won't anyone be my friend? Why can't I keep a job? Is that also coming through in job interviews?
Yeah.
We have somebody that I've worked with, and we know she's not happy. And she has applied to so many different jobs and hasn't gotten it. And we've heard the feedback because it's been within our system. So we've heard the feedback that she just interviews horrendously because she is just so, all she talks about how she hates her job.
Oh,
And no one,
wants to hear that.
when you're sitting
No.
across and you're not excited, and that's what I tell people who come in, because we have high school students that come in sometimes, and that's a big focus for me. It's just the job interview. Make eye contact, because right now that's a real big struggle culturally for younger people, is to make that eye contact and just be excited. I don't care if you're going to flip French fries for me.
Right.
Be excited to have a job and work with me, and I will hire you on the spot. If you're, kind of struggling to make eye contact, you don't like who you are, you don't think you're going to ever get a job or make any friends, that will come right across.
Yep.
And especially if she is struggling within the medical field, which is struggling to get people through the door, but we're also able to be picky enough that we're going to pick the cream of the crop. And if you're not presenting yourself in a way that maybe that
So true.
needs some she needs to really do some reflection, whether that's her going by herself and then bringing her husband in to kind of, is he being supportive, but also perhaps, too supportive of her just kind of fumbling her way through? Is there some pushback, in being that strengths over weaknesses thing?
So you're saying that there maybe need to be some come to Jesus talk?
Maybe a couple come
Yeah.
to Jesus talks. Is he actually, why can't I think of the
Enabling.
word? Enabling. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Is he enabling some of her behavior and just saying, I'm sure it's all of them. I'm sure it's,
Right.
it's not you, it's everything else. Well, it might be, but it also might be, what are you putting out there too?
Yeah, that's true.
So,
No, well said.
And I think going back to when we were married in our early 20s, at least I was, because I'm, the young one. She just got a head shake from my
wee
wife.
baby.
Yes. So one part of our story is me working in a church. We always kind of had a support system, and it ranged in degrees of how supportive they actually were, but we had people, and I think that really helped more than it hindered. There were certainly times where it definitely hindered, because you've got all these church people that, have very different expectations of you, or, they show up on your day off knocking on your door for toilet paper because they're out at church. That happened.
Or they don't knock and they just walk in, because that happened.
And you're in a towel because you just got out of the shower.
Because it's your day off.
Yeah, I mean, that happened. So all that to say, even despite all of the crazy stuff that happened working at a church, just having church people around, it was normal for me to have a group of 5 or 6 older guys, the elders or deacons of the church that I met with regularly. And it was so valuable to me. So I would encourage this couple, surround yourself with people who have been through what you've gone through and learn from them, whether that's joining a church or, maybe it's work people, whoever it is. Find somebody who's walked this path before and hang out with them and learn from them. And that can be super helpful too.
And to keep the theme going of Threads, I want to peer pressure you to get her to therapy.
Yep, absolutely.
That's another t-shirt. Peer pressuring you. Jason peer pressures people to therapy.
No, I think the t-shirt should say healthy people go to therapy.
No, I'm not you. What you
Hashtag.
So Threads can take over your hashtag? Yeah. I really do like that, by the way.
I really would think it's okay. I mean, you guys have all heard the story about Miracle and Starbucks and everything.
Yeah. So, honestly, though, I think he should go to therapy to get maybe some tools on how to help her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then maybe bring her in, and then maybe just see how it flows from there. If she doesn't feel like she wants to go right now, and that's fine, but then you go. Mm-hmm. And then you gather some tools and, bring her in. Talk about some stuff.
Well, and it might be good for him just to talk about how he feels about all of this, because it's affecting him. And, maybe if I can't remember which one of you said, but maybe maybe it was you, Meaghan, if he's like, oh yeah, it is everybody else, a therapist can call him out on that too, if that's what's happening. So, and
it's got to be frustrating if he's cool with his life and everything's going fine, and then the spouse isn't. That's got to be tough to.
We've been there. I mean, when I was at that church, I talk about our days in Elmira as being so awesome, and they were for me. But for my wife, she had a boring job. She didn't have a car for a large part of it, so I would drive her to work every morning. I got to go out and do things and, be the cool youth pastor, and I loved it, but it was super hard for her. So I think there might be an element of that going on too.
I just think for us, we each have our own therapist, and we occasionally go together. And it was the going together that actually drove me to say, ooh, we should probably start seeing somebody. But just, you never stop working on your marriage. And they say marriage is hard, and it's very true. And it doesn't, not in a negative way, it gets easier because you get more comfortable with each other. But there are seasons you work through together that if you've never experienced it, you're experiencing it with another person at your side, somebody who's always around, right? So you become a parent for the first time, and you're trying to deal with your shit, and you have another person who's dealing with their own stuff, and you move through that together. And if you don't have tools to work with, then it's really, really hard. And you're not going to be in the same phases of life all the time. One of you is going to be in a job you love and the other person doesn't. One of you is going to be working out and the other one's going to be fat and happy, and now you're that couple, right? There's always going to be something, and you have to be able to come back to the base of why you're together, why you work really well together, how you support each other, and just that bare basics. But there has to be a give and take. You can't enable and have it work in the long term, because that person is just going to get worse.
Yeah.
With whatever it is. And if it's negative self-thought, if you start on that path and you're always being that person that's like, it is everyone else. You're right. You're doing fine. It must be this, and this.
Yeah.
They can't grow as a person. You're doing them a disservice.
Well, I had a lot of that in my life, with some of my family, not the nucleus, but the external family, that kind of stuff. And it doesn't go well. It just never gets better. So, well, good luck. Let us know if any of this helped. If it didn't, I'm sorry. If it did, I'm happy.
Great. Yeah, right.
All right.
If you need help finding a therapist too, I don't know if you guys are starting to post links to like help people find one, but I mean, maybe that's something that we can all help with too.
I mean, if they PM you and they need to go in the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's something that's just kind of a personal thing in regards to.
Well, just to even like, you could put a link to like, there's a therapist finder on Psychology Today.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like all that stuff in. So just
ratings,
giving like people resources of how to even get started to find a person.
You can't go to mine.
Can't go to mine either.
I tried. I asked Jason about me.
I know. I was like, nope.
Nope.
But I can give you her email and she can refer someone in her group to that.
I am very guilty of referring Jason's therapist to people because she is, until she started getting too busy to like, he couldn't reschedule. And I was like, oh,
yeah, you need to shut up. Like,
but I've had at least 3 people either send their kids or go to her personally and have seen. Like, they're just like, she's amazing. I'm like, I know. It's so hard not to share.
Yeah. I know.
When you know, and finding your therapist that you click with is a process. So few people do it on the first. I'm on my 3rd and finally have clicked with somebody that I feel like, okay, I can actually make some progress this way. You rarely hit it the first go, and you have to try out a few different people, and she's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, here's an update. I mean, obviously everybody around the table knows this, but Jason and my wife and...
Why don't you ever say her name? Her name's Andi.
Sorry. Jason and Andi have both been challenging me to go back to counseling. Damn it. Therapy.
Hey.
It's fine.
You know what? Fly your flag. It's over. We've discussed it. So if you want to say counseling, I'm not. You're correcting yourself. I wasn't even going to say it. I was like,
so state your statement, then I have a question for you. Go.
Okay, so they have both been encouraging me to go back and see a therapist. They've also both shared some concerns and thoughts about the therapist I was seeing. And I think it was a fair criticism of him. Tom's a phenomenal guy, knows his stuff, but he's too quick to say you're good and just push people out of his office so that he can get to the next one. I didn't like that. And so I was like, all right, I guess it's time to find a new counselor, therapist.
No, you didn't like that, but you didn't say anything. I told you, like,
I'm an internal.
I know. I'm like, he works for you. You're paying him. You'd be like, no, I'll see you in a week.
A lot of people don't have that mentality.
But he also is like, okay, this dude's the expert, and this is what he said, so this is what I should go with.
Right, but if he's not feeling good, then clearly the expert isn't doing...
Well, that's what I said like 6 months ago, but continue. Why are you looking at me like that?
I had to create an awkward pause after that blow.
Yeah, the awkward pauses are the best.
It's not a blow because she's right, but keep going.
So... I went on Psychology Today. I started there and I looked at other places and finally stumbled upon this guy who not only does he have a background in psychoanalytic
therapy.
There you go. Thank you.
Man, such big words in this business.
Not only does he have background in that, but he also has a background in like theology and studying the interplay of psychology and faith, and like he's just seems to be on the same wavelength as I am as far as valuing his faith, but also valuing psychology and what place that has in life. So I'm really intrigued by his approach. I did something maybe a little not internalizer, and it was tough for me, but I hammered out an email kind of explaining this is who I am, this is what I do, this is what I struggle with, this is what I'm looking for. Can you help me? I put it all in an email.
Wow. I didn't know this part.
Yeah.
And you didn't send it to Jason?
No.
Oh.
I sent it to my wife.
He doesn't send everything to me, Andy. He did send me pictures of the guy, so I was like, he looks like a creep. He's too old.
That was the psychiatrist you said was too old.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah.
But anyway, so found him, sent the email off. The guy replied the next day. He's like, yeah, I think this might be a good fit. I'm kind of full, but I can fit you in on Tuesday mornings. So Tuesday morning this week, I will be meeting with him, and I've already talked with my boss. And I said, I need to have Tuesday mornings every other week for the next however long. I need to be able to commit to this. And he was actually very encouraging and said, that's really good. And you picked a good time. That'll work good with your work schedule. And so it's like, all right, guess this is happening.
Sweet.
So, yeah. Thanks for peer pressuring me back into counseling again. Therapy.
I just noticed a significant difference when you were in therapy, and then when you got out of it, I felt like you kind of fell back into some of your same patterns.
Yep.
My wife is nodding and just repeating, yep, yep, yep.
It's not bad. It's better. But I noticed a huge, like last fall when you were seeing Tom and like realizing all that stuff, I'm like, okay. And then my therapist kept saying, yeah, he's good, but he's going to cut him. Don't let him cut him loose too early. Don't let him cut him loose because she knows him and is like, yeah, he does know his stuff, but make sure he's not going to cut him loose. And she's like, damn it, I knew he would do that. So we need to find him somebody else.
Yep.
So.
And I found my own person this time. So
No, that's good.
And you may commit more this go around because you chose this person. It does feel
Although
different.
while we did peer pressure him and back going, he did choose it on his own.
Yeah, that does make a difference.
I just gave him a name. We gave him 2 names. But
yeah, when I was listening to the podcast and you were like, pick one for me, and I was like, no, Ben, no, pick your own.
Yeah.
I did. I wanted to go to Jason's therapist so bad, and I emailed her and just told her that I asked her if I could see her, and it was a conflict of interest, and I cried and cried.
I had a college buddy that I wasn't super close to. He was an acquaintance, and I would have really loved to see him because he's good. I Facebook messaged him, and he's like, nope, dude, can't do it. I'm sorry. It's like, fine.
Yeah.
Well, is that the guy that I found for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's good. I think it's good that you found your own person. But Megan, you said you had a question for him.
I do.
And then we have to wrap this up because
the kids are getting a little
restless.
squirrely.
Well, it's probably because they're full of junk food because Uncle Jason said they could eat whatever they wanted while we were doing the podcast.
Hey, it kept them quiet. We're like an hour 50 in.
I know.
So.
They finished their whole movie.
Yeah.
So the question, the counselor versus therapist. May I pose a theory I have?
Oh, boy.
I have a theory that saying counselor makes it seem lighter than seeing a therapist. When you say I'm in therapy, I wonder if you have a perception of, oh my gosh, that person's going to therapy, like they screwed up.
They must be cray-cray.
Versus if you said I'm going to a counselor, it does, to me it has a different feel if somebody said I was going to counseling, because to me it sounds like you're going to your high school counselor versus.
Damn it, Megan, you hit it on the head.
Yay!
Well, I kind of wondered that too.
Here's the thing. And this is something I was talking to Tyler about after I dropped the ball at work on Tuesday. I said, I really like to come across as somebody who has their shit together. And I do. And so for me to say counselor, it's like, yeah, I'm good, but I could stand some counsel in my
Just
life.
hanging out with some dude drinking
some
coffee.
counsel.
I'm surprised that she hit it because I told her I was like, no,
Oh, she's like,
no,
he's like,
no.
you're full of shit. That's not it. I'm like, no, it's it. I win.
She got it.
Man.
But they understand each other.
I will say the more you say it out loud to other people, the less weird it sounds in your own head. And to find that most people are like, oh, cool. Because, I used to say, oh, I need to go to therapy because my dad died and I don't know how to deal with it. Well, guess what? That was not the reason initially I thought that was the reason that I was having issues because I couldn't deal. But it's not. I had issues dealing because I was having issues anyway that I just needed to talk through. And the more I talk about it, the more I can also then recommend it to other people that I see who might need, instead of being like, you want to seem like you have it all together, but then there's also that realness of, I have it all together, but not really. And I see a therapist, and you know what? I see that you're struggling, and I can tell you that I struggle too. And I see a therapist, and it's fine. Right.
I was just surprised that that's what it was because, we talk about therapy regularly on the show. It's part of our show, so I would think that you wouldn't care if someone knew that you were going to therapy, but I'm surprised by that.
Well, when I went to Tyler and Robin, the co-owner of the company, I tasked myself with using the word therapy, and I did, and it felt a little weird, but then to hear their reaction, like they were incredibly supportive, and
I don't know people that wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I think we have this fear
Right.
that they're going to be like, think you're a freak, but then
You're fired. You're going to therapy.
right.
Well, I think now, like as a society, we're normalizing it a whole lot more. Like it's okay, you know. Like
I think it is in your world. I think it's not.
we're
as-
getting there. I think we're getting.
West
I think,
Michigan's a tough sell.
I think millennials though, like, and that generation is more open to going.
I agree.
So I think it's getting there. My world is a little bit different, but
Because you're
I don't know.
surrounded by it all the time. So
right. But I think even for me though, for a long time, I'm like, oh, I don't want to go. I don't. But now I'm like, yeah, I go to therapy. I'm a therapist.
And we always give this caveat: if you're not ready to go,
Don't.
Don't. It's
gonna
not
be
good.
if
worth
someone
it.
forces you, like our emailer, if he's pushing her to go and she doesn't want to go, it's just going to push her further away. That's why I
Yeah.
say you go.
Yep, you go.
Well, and everybody gets different stuff out of it. If he expects her to go and it's going to fix her, that's that's not how that goes.
Yeah.
If she's ready to do some work, or just sometimes I have people that are like, I feel like they need to go, and they're like, oh, I don't need therapy. Like, just it's something to go sit and just spin through all your stories for the week and just say, this really pissed me off.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
sometimes
love
that's
it.
Nice
I
too.
get 60 minutes to talk about myself with somebody
Or
who's
your
pretty
husband.
neutral, or my husband, and all the things that I'm pissed off about. No, I'm just kidding.
You get
There's
to do
a
that
lot.
when you record too.
It's not usually about you.
Oh,
He's like, you don't
no.
talk about me in your therapy sessions?
I dare say, I think if you had presented it to your bosses too, like, I'm going to go to counseling every Tuesday, they'd be like,
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
if somebody came to me and said, I need to change my schedule, I'm going to do some
Yeah,
counseling,
I
I'd be
can
like,
see
financial
that.
counseling, mental. So, therapy. Okay, you're going to therapy. So,
Yeah,
that-
because
it
counseling
just-
applies, so it could be financial.
Yeah,
it could be
anything.
and it just seems lighter. It just seems, okay, you're going to a life coach. You're kind of talking through your stuff. Like, I need to
did that for a
exercise
while.
more. I have a
life
friend
coach.
who's a life coach. I mean, it's
It
It's
didn't
a
really
thing.
help.
Nah, it's a
no,
waste.
'cause
it's
you've
kind of
got-
like having a friend
You've
to.
got deeper stuff that you need to work through, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway.
fine. It's okay. It's
We've got to wrap this up.
healthy
Yeah, we're gonna-
people go to therapy.
We're gonna skip our last segment
Yeah, I think
because
so.
we're like 1:55 in.
We're good.
But no, this was really fun. It started out a little loosey goosey, which is kind of fun. But I'm glad we kind of got deep.
Yeah.
See, we made up for all the time that you guys wouldn't spend on us the first go around.
Exactly.
man.
We're even now. I
Yeah,
guess.
are we cool now?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well,
For now.
I think
for
we're good.
now. So
We
we're
good. We good.
We're even right now. So, well, thank you guys so much for listening to us, and again, subscribe, rate, and review. We really appreciate it. And yeah, have a good whatever whenever you're listening to this. So,
Good
Bye.
evening, good day, good night.
Peace
Goodbye.
out.
happy Hanukkah.
I was just going to say that.
Were you really?
Here comes Hanukkah.